All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. If you need a roof, make sure you call Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. They not only do roofs, they do just about everything. They're the best in the business, the #1 contracting, Pittsburgh's #1 contracting place, business, home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters. So if you need anything that has to do with construction, make sure you call Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF. You can give me a call right now, 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. The Pirates making up some ground in the standings with the win today. The Brewers lost, so they're only 7 games back. The Cardinals are losing to the Cubs, so they might gain a game on the Cardinals, then potentially be 2 back of the Cardinals. And this is a big homestand, 10 games for the Pirates, and they play a lot better at home than they do on the road. And this is really important to kind of turn things around for this team that's been struggling lately, playing like the worst team. The record indicated that they were the worst team in baseball the last month or so. So this is an important stretch for them. If they want to get back into it, if they want to be a contender, this is the time. This time, I think 18 of their next 27 are at home. They got 8 more at home during this homestand, so they got to make up some ground right now. And I'm anxious to see if they do that, what do the Pirates do? How can the Pirates win the fans back? They had 27,000 today at PNC Park. Beautiful day. Tomorrow's Father's Day. I'd imagine they're going to have somewhere around the same number at the game. And how do they win you back? How do they win you back? Do they have to go out and go get some big guns and try to contend? Or if they just don't do anything, I mean, what do they need to do? I mean, I kind of think that they're going to do like they've done in years past. They might not do a couple little things to upgrade and kind of just stay in the middle. And that's kind of their MO, and that's what I think they're going to continue to do. They're going to try to stay 500. They might make one trade to get a guy in here, maybe a bullpen guy, but they're not going to make that splash trade like the Penguins would do. And I think that's what I would want to see them do. I want to see them contend. I want to see them do something like the Brewers did in the offseason. That's what the Pirates have to do, I think, to win fans back. I'd like to hear your opinion. All right, let's go out to Marianne in Johnstown. How you doing, Marianne?
I'm doing good, Rich. Hey, I just got home from the Pirate game, and I got to tell you, it was a nice crowd, even though there could have been more people. But I really liked the lineup. I mean, with Meadows and with Dickerson, and I'm sorry, but I think Polanco needs to go down. He needs to go back to learning basic baseball. And but other than that, I just like to hear, your comments, and I hope whenever it comes trading time that, Harrison still wants to stick with us. And, let me hear your comments.
Yeah, I mean, I think Harrison still wants to be on the team, but do the Pirates want Harrison? Will they get a lot for a guy like Harrison? I think they potentially can. I mean, they're going to have to move one of these guys. I would expect Jung Ho Kang to be up here within the next month, depending how he plays in Indianapolis. So he's been playing shortstop and third base. So I would think that they're going to try to move a guy like Jordy Mercer, bring Jung Ho Kang up. He could play shortstop. He could play third base. Maybe bring up a guy like Kevin Newman. He could also play shortstop. But then if you start trading guys like Josh Harrison, Francisco Cervelli, Ivan Nova, you're kind of thrown in the towel, in my opinion. You're playing for next year. And I don't think you win the fan base back if you play for next year. You got to play for right now. I think if this team, what they have to do right now is win this fan base back and try to go for one of those wild card spots this year. I don't think that they have the team right now. They don't have the pitching. They obviously don't have the bullpen, and they got to do something to upgrade. Maybe try to get a starter, try to get a bullpen guy, and without losing too much. I mean, I'd like to see Harrison on the team. I really like Jordy Mercer. I think he's a solid shortstop. He's above average shortstop. I think he's a pretty good. He's above average hitter, but he's a good defensive player and a good team guy and a good locker room guy. Francisco Cervelli, I keep saying, I've said it a ton on this show, this is the guy I want at the plate in clutch situations. I would not trade him. You're not going to get anything for Gregory Polanco if you try to trade him. And I don't know what you do about Corey Dickerson, but I would like to see the Pirates maybe extend Corey Dickerson, sign him to a contract, show the fan base, show all of us that you really mean what you say, that you want to win. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We're going to go out to Mark out in Greensburg. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good. Great, Richie. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Hey, you kind of said the exact thing I wanted to talk about. I think they should extend Dickerson. I mean, he's a young guy. Give him 4 or 5 years. Show the fan base you care. They won't get anything for Polanco with his salary, and sending him down to the minors is an option, but they won't do it. And they will not spend money, and they never will. And Harrison is getting paid $10 million. He'll be gone by the deadline unless they're, well,
they have a club option on Harrison next year. So, I mean, I would think Harrison's going to be a guy that if you want to compete, you need him on your team. But one of these guys are going to go.
Yeah, you're right. And one more about Phil Kessel. Everybody's talking about trading him. Why would you ever trade him?
They're not trading him.
Anything in return.
Well, I think you could get something in return. Mark, I do think you could get something in return. I mean, he shows he's a goal scorer. Teams covet goal scorers.
You're not going to get an equal player that can score, I don't think, unless you sign John Tavares. And to fit him under the cap would be hard.
That's interesting. You brought up a good point. I mean, maybe if there's some kind of move where you traded him away for a couple young guys and you were able to sign Tavares, then you might make that move. I've heard rumblings about that, rumors out there, but I don't think they trade Phil Kessel. I know guys in that locker room really love him. They love this guy. He just wants to play with Evgeny Malkin, and Evgeny Malkin wants to play with him. Just make that happen. Make that happen, and everyone will be happy.
You're right. Yeah. And thank you, and I appreciate your comments.
All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Let's go out to another Mark out in Garfield. How you doing, Mark?
Rich, how are you tonight, my man?
Good, thanks for calling.
All right, Rich, about the Pirates, it's simple. They would not have to worry about getting the fan base back if they knew how to draft. Neil Huntington has done a horrible job. I will give you one example. Until the Washington Nationals brought up the young outfielder, 19-year-old Juan Soto, 2 weeks ago, the Atlanta Braves start the 3 youngest players in Major League Baseball, and they had the youngest staff in Major League Baseball, and they are in first place.
Yeah.
It is about the draft, no matter what sport it is. I just want to get your feedback on it.
No question. I mean, you go back throughout the years with this organization, they've done an awful job at drafting. I mean, go back to the Littlefield days. That really put them where they are right now. And, I know Huntington has done some good things, but his drafting has been pretty questionable. I totally agree with you on that. I mean, that's in hindsight. You can look back and but I really believe that he goes into situations and into drafts thinking like, hey, we got to get a guy that we can sign. I think there's a lot of pressure on him behind the scenes of trying to draft a guy, maybe not the best guy, but the guy that might fit and might sign long term for the right amount of money. Maybe that's it. I mean, a guy like Garrett Cole, you knew that he was going to be gone. He's a Boris guy. He's not going to be around for a while, and they traded him. So, I agree with you, but I do think it has a lot to do with not spending any money either. They covet these prospects, and they've kept them in their system all these years, and they could have traded them for someone that could help them now, and they didn't, like a Tyler Glasnow, or they gave away Reese McGuire basically to get rid of Lariano. So they could have done a lot of things, but it all comes down to money. They have the 4th lowest payroll in the majors, $50 million under the average. They got to start spending more money to compete. I know they have a good team and they have some young guys, but I want to see them in a couple weeks go after some guys and try to really compete for one of these wild card spots, because I don't think they can win the division, but they potentially can get that second wild card spot. All right, I got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls and some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.